Hola, hola.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Recorded. My plan for today is to do a little trivia game to review everything that we've learned together, share a little bit more information that we didn't get to, and then just have time for questions and takeaways from this time together. I can go slower. Is
Yeah,
that better? Do
yeah,
less? Okay, let
yeah,
me
sorry.
one at a time, no worries. First, we're going to do a trivia game.
Ok, primero vamos a hacer un juego trivia
Then, second, we're going to learn about things we didn't get to the first few workshops.
y después vamos a tocar los temas que no pudimos tocar en los otros workshops.
And then at the end, we'll have time for questions, and I want to hear your main takeaways from our time together.
Y al final vamos a tener un tiempo para las preguntas y quisiera saber sus comentarios de todos los workshops que tuvimos.
Okay, so let's get into the trivia game.
Ok, hay que empezar con el juego.
Here we go. Okay, so there are 8 questions,
Nomás hay 8 preguntas.
and you can answer in the chat. I want to see at least one response in the chat for each question.
Pueden usar el chat o su micrófono, pero quiero al menos una respuesta por cada pregunta.
But this is mostly just for you to check that you understood what we talked about the past few workshops.
Esto es nomás para saber si ustedes entendieron o aprendieron de los workshops pasados.
So let's get started. Okay. Here's question number 1. It's fill in the blank.
Esta es la primera pregunta, tienes que llenar el blanco.
Organic waste does not break down properly in a landfill. This makes a powerful greenhouse gas called blank.
La basura orgánica no se descompone pro- eh, propiamente en la tierra. Esto hace un gas invernadero muy fuerte que se llama.
Let's see an answer in the chat. Yes, I see an answer. Yes, I see 2 answers. Good job. Methane, methane. We all got the correct answer. Good work, everyone. That's perfect. Okay, so we all got that answer correct. Easy start. Let's go to the next question. This is a yes or no question. Are glass bottles, metal cans, and paper all things you can recycle in your blue recycling bin? Yes or no?
Esta es una pregunta con respuesta sí o no. Todas las botellas de vidrio, metal, eh, papel, todo eso va en el tacho de reciclaje azul, ¿sí o no?
I see 3 yeses. Esmeralda, Natalie, Edwin, yes, yes, yes. It sounds like we're all on the same page. The answer is yes, they are all recyclable. So good job. These should be easy questions. So I'm glad we're all getting them right. Let's get a little bit harder. So this is from the first workshop. King County generated 868,532 tons of trash in 2019. How many space needles was this equal to? I shared this number in the first workshop.
Esta pregunta, hablamos sobre esta pregunta en el primer workshop, pero es de King County genera 868.532 toneladas de basura en el 2019 y ¿a cuántos Space Needle esto es equivalente?
It's multiple choice. So A 36, B 59, C 91, or D 104. I see three yeses. Jonathan and Esmeralda say 104. Edwin says 36. Any last guesses? I see. Okay. Let's show you the answer. Natalie says 36. The answer is 91. So just so you know, if you ever think about looking at the Space Needle and you wonder how many of those, like the weight of those, is how much trash we have, 91. So that's a lot.
Entonces es 91 y como saben el Space Needle es bien grande, entonces 91 Space Needles es demasiado.
Okay, let's keep going. That's just a fun fact you can share. Can this item go in the compost? Yes or no? And I want to give you a hint. This is supposed to be a hard question, so think carefully.
Ah, esta es una pregunta difícil, pero ¿esto puede ir en el compost? Sí o no.
I see one yes and three no's. Another no. Okay, so why are we saying yes and why are we saying no? Can anyone explain for me?
¿Pueden explicar por qué la respuesta es no?
Jonathan says because, okay, Sebastian says because of the sticker. Yes, good catch. So the answer is yes, but only if you remove the sticker. So this picture has no sticker, this picture has sticker. As long as you take it off, then it's compostable. So everyone who said no, good job. You saw my little trick I had in there. So good job. You guys are all so smart. Okay, next one. Oh yeah, I just circled. These are other stickers. Okay, here's another fill in the blank question. Blank is nature's recycling. It's a natural process where nutrients from our food waste, yard waste, and other organic materials like paper and cardboard can be broken down and transformed into healthy, food growing, carbon sequestering, and regenerative soil. I'll let you translate, Sebastian.
Ok. Esta es otra pregunta de llenar el blanco. Blanco es una forma natural de reciclaje. Es el proceso donde los nutrientes de nuestra comida, del jardín y otros materiales orgánicos como el papel y el cartón pueden ser transformados en comida saludable, que tenga carbón y también genera tierra.
I see one answer. Let's see any more. Two answers. You're all saying the same thing. Yes, composting is nature's recycling. Good job. I can't trick you guys. You got it. So answer is compost or composting. Perfect. Jonathan, smiley face. Yes, perfect. Okay, couple more. Almost there. This one is from the last workshop. What are two examples of indoor composting you can do in a small space like an apartment or a small house? I gave two pictures as hints.
De esto hablamos en el workshop anterior y quiero que me digan cuáles son los dos métodos, cómo se llaman los dos métodos de composting en tu casa.
If you want to look back, if you have notes, you can look back. But there were two names. Yes. Okay. I see Edwin says the method from Jonathan's grandmother. Kind of, kind of. That's a good guess, Edwin. Thank you. Do you remember what they were called? Uh, Give 2 more seconds. Sebastian says feeding worms. Yes, the worm is the hint. Yes. Okay, I'll just tell you. Yes, and Bokashi. Good job, Sebastian. Perfect. So there was the one with the worms. That's good enough. It's called vermicomposting. I'll show it on the screen. It's this long word here. And then Bokashi. Good job. Okay, I think just two more. This is multiple choice.
Ok,
Which which one of these is not a way to prevent food waste? A, make a shopping list. B, store potatoes and onions away from each other. C, recycle. Or D, freeze your food.
ok, esta pregunta es, ¿cuál de estas cuatro opciones no es una forma de prevenir food waste? A, hacer una lista de compras. B, poner las papas y las cebollas lejos de cada uno. C, reciclaje. Y D, congelar tu comida.
Okay, I see a couple answers. It seems like they're all the same answer. C, recycling. Correct. Everything else is a way to prevent food. Does anyone want to share another way that you can prevent food waste that's not on this page in the chat? I know you made your flyer and I saw a bunch of great ideas, so I'd love to see if you can remember any of those.
¿Alguno de ustedes puede comentar de otra forma de que no se puede prevenir la food waste? Tal vez lo pusieran en sus flyers.
I'm also going to share some more ideas after we finish this game, so just want to see if you remember any. Okay, let's see. Eat, yep, eat the food that you buy, basically, right? Perfect, perfect, great job. Okay, last question. Let's get to the end. So answer was C. Perfect. Okay. This is the last question, and this is just answer however you can in the chat. What are 3 examples of things you can put in the compost?
¿Cuáles son las tres cosas que puedes poner en tu compost?
Jonathan says eggshells. Esmeralda says food. Perfect. Can I get one more thing? One more. Plants. Natalie got it perfect. Good work, everyone. 100%, I think. Everyone got all the questions correct. This is just a picture of all the things you can put into compost, just for a reminder. But well done, everyone. Good job. Very proud. Okay, now we're transitioning away from the game. So good work, everyone. It seems like we all understand everything that I've shared so far. I see some drawings on the chat. I love it. I want to show some pictures of composting around the world that I had in old slides.
Les quiero enseñar imágenes de formas del compost que tomé en otros lugares del mundo.
Everything that we've learned together is consistent everywhere, but it may look slightly different.
Todo lo que aprendimos es, es muy parecido, pero tal vez hayan algunas cosas diferentes.
So organic waste will look like organic waste no matter where you go, but certain cities might have different ways of accepting or not accepting organic waste. Same with recycling and trash.
La basura orgánica tal vez es lo mismo en todos lados, pero hay algunas ciudades que nomás aceptan unas cosas y otras ciudades que no.
So I've showed this picture before. This is a coffee shop in Seattle with the three bins that we should all be familiar with: green, blue, and black.
Esta foto es en una tienda de café en Seattle y como pueden ver tienen los tres tachos de basura, el verde, azul y el negro.
We've mastered this system, so this should be easy.
Ya somos buenos en este sistema, entonces ya es fácil para nosotros.
This picture is a trash bin I found when I traveled to Alaska last year.
Esta foto es un tacho de basura que vi en Alaska.
They have recycling, but they ask you to separate plastic, glass, and aluminum instead of all together.
Tienen reciclaje, pero le piden a la gente que separe el plástico, el vidrio y el aluminio.
They also don't accept food waste because this was at a park and it attracts animals.
Tampoco no aceptaban comida en los tachos de basura porque atrae a los animales.
So same idea, it just looks a little bit different.
Entonces es la misma idea, pero se ve diferente.
Here's one I saw when I traveled to Costa Rica. So the signs are in Spanish, which is really cool.
Esta foto es la que encontré en Costa Rica
And they have on the far right the green bin for organicos, so they compost there as well.
y como pueden ver el tacho verde es de orgánicos.
So same idea, different categories, different bins, but same concept everywhere.
Entonces son diferentes tachos de basura, diferentes categorías, pero al fin del día todo es lo mismo.
I don't have a picture of it, but there's also a city in Japan called Kamikatsu that has 45 different categories that you sort your trash into.
No tengo la foto de esto, pero sé que en Japón hay una ciudad que se llama Kamikaze y tienen 45 diferentes categorías para botar la basura.
So it sounds complex, but if you can understand what we've done here, you can understand it anywhere.
Entonces, sé que suena un poco complejo, pero si lo entiendes aquí, entonces lo entiendes en cualquier parte.
Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. I want to show some video examples of more creative ways to reuse food waste.
Ok, entonces ahora les voy a enseñar un video sobre unas cosas más creativas de cómo reducir la basura orgánica.
This first video that I'm pulling up is a restaurant in Mexico City that won a sustainability award.
Este primer video es de un restaurante en la Ciudad de México que ganó un premio de la sostenibilidad.
And you should see some familiar ideas that we talked about and you've added to your poster on how to reduce food waste.
Y van a ver ideas similares que ustedes añadieron en los flyers sobre cómo reducir la basura orgánica.
It's also in Spanish, Sebastian, so no need to translate.
Ok.
Nuestra idea es darle continuidad a las cocinas tradicionales de nuestro país. Evidentemente, para hacer esto, pues se necesita estar bien enraizado, pero también se necesita tener una visión de futuro. Estamos muy contentos y muy orgullosos de haber recibido el Flor de Caña Sustainable Restaurant Award. Para nosotros es un sueño cumplido, es una meta que nos habíamos propuesto hace un par de años como restaurante, que nuestro impacto en el medio ambiente y en la sociedad no solamente fuera menor, sino que fuera positivo. Teníamos que tener una visión a largo plazo, que queremos hacer un restaurante que sea un clásico, un restaurante que permanezca en el tiempo. Lo que estamos buscando es esta visión un poquito más amplia y también más profunda. Cuando haces cocina, pequeñas decisiones pueden tener un impacto muy importante en manera colectiva. y juntos como industria empezamos todos a pensar en economías circulares, si empezamos a tener mejores prácticas de manejo de energía, de recursos naturales como el agua, si estamos conscientes del impacto social, ese para nosotros es el futuro. El futuro no se trata de ser el mejor restaurante del mundo, sino ser el mejor restaurante para el mundo.
Okay, so I thought that was pretty cool to see a restaurant in Mexico being recognized for doing sustainable work.
Eh, a mí Sorry, what did you say?
No worries, I can repeat. I just said I thought it was very cool to see a restaurant in Mexico being recognized for its sustainability work.
Oh, ok. A mí me encantó ver que un restaurante en México sea reconocido por este tipo de trabajo.
This is a little bit of a fancy restaurant, and there are all kinds of restaurants doing this work, maybe at a different scale, a different level.
Este restaurante vendría a ser un poco más lujoso, pero estoy segura que hay otros restaurantes en diferentes niveles que están haciendo este tipo de trabajo.
For example, when we talked about our favorite foods at a previous workshop, tamales, tacos, pupusas, all things that don't have any packaging or food waste involved, really.
Como cuando les dije que me comentaran sobre su comida favorita y me dijeron tamales, pupusas, todas esas envolturas de esa comida pueden ser reusadas.
So these creative ideas are happening everywhere. I just wanted you to see a video example of one.
Estas ideas creativas se están pasando en todos lugares, entonces quería enseñarles.
Another video I want to show you that's also in Spanish, very short, ways you can use plants to dye fabrics.
Otra cosa que les quería enseñar es cómo las plantas las usan para pintar productos.
This first example will be how you can use avocado pits to dye clothes.
El primer video es cómo usan los guacamoles para pintar la comida, para pintar la ropa.
So that's one. Avocado pits, you just boil it in hot water, put in white clothing, and then it turns your clothes pink.
Ese es el primer video que usan la cáscara del guacamole y lo hierven en agua, ponen la ropa blanca y termina en rosa.
The next example I want to show you is other plants you can find in nature, mostly in Latin and South America, that will turn your clothes other colors.
El próximo video son cómo usamos las plantas en Latinoamérica o en Sudamérica para pintar la ropa.
Oh, hold on. 1 second, I'll let it start over.
Como brotan de la tierra, que así brotarán amores.
Las flores, las flores, las flores de mis colores, como brotan de la tierra, que así brotarán amores.
Las flores, las flores, las flores de mil colores, como brotan de la tierra, que así brotarán amores.
Las flores, las flores, las flores de mis colores, como brotan de la tierra, que así brotarán amores.
I see Jonathan dancing to the music in the chat. So do we recognize any of those plants? I saw quickly rosemary, eucalyptus. I think there was walnut in there. There were several different plants that you can just take from nature and dye things. Has anyone tried that before?
¿Alguno de ustedes vio una planta que reconoció? Yo vi que ahí estaba el eucalipto, la planta de oliva. eh, ¿Alguno de ustedes ha tratado de pintar la ropa con plantas?
I've never done it before, but I'm just curious if you have.
Yo nunca lo he hecho, pero estoy...
Okay, Edwin has what plant did you use?
I don't remember the plan, but it's in Peru. It's yeah, I don't remember, but I looking for and share to you.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious. Thank you.
Yeah, it's special for the blue jeans.
Oh, okay, like indigo or something similar?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Jonathan says something about, can you help me translate?
yeah, let me look in the chat. He said, I stain my clothes with berries.
So cool. That's so cool. Wow, I love that. But yeah, another way to use food to create things that are useful. So not always, it doesn't always have to be something that you eat. It can also be creative. Okay, two more videos I want to show you, and then we'll move to the last bit. This next one is if you ever have tortilla chips that get stale, does anyone know how to make them not stale anymore?
Si ustedes tienen los chips de tortillas que a veces enduran,
Follow for part 72 of my food waste fighting series. Never throw out stale tortilla chips again. This bag ripped on the way home from the grocery store and the chips got super stale, but you can easily bring them back to life. The full instructions are down below, and like and follow for part 72 of my food waste fighting series.
So that was a quick one, but basically she's saying if the tortilla chips are stale and don't taste good anymore, you can put them in the oven at 350 degrees for maybe 10 minutes and they'll taste better again.
si tienes unos chips que tal vez ya no sepan bien, se enduran y quieres reusarlos, los puedes poner en el horno a 350 grados por unos 10 minutos y creas unos nachos.
And the last one I'm going to play for you is having to do with ways you can use lemon, lime, or any citrus to create a cleaning spray.
Y el último video es cómo puedes usar limones para crear un spray para limpiar.
When you're done squeezing the juice out of lemons, do not throw away the peel because they are far from trash. The acid in lemons is actually powerful enough to kill bacteria and neutralize odors. So here's how you can use them to make your own cleaning spray. Once you squeeze out all the juice from your lemons, toss those peels into a jar or bottle, and once that's full, add in some white vinegar and give it a good shake. Leave that jar for 1 to 2 weeks, shaking it every couple days until the liquid looks like this. Then you can strain it out and use it as a homemade natural cleaning spray, saving yourself money and preventing food waste. When you're done squeezing the juice out,
Okay, so again, he spoke quickly, so I'll just recap. After you use lemon or any citrus, you can put it in white vinegar, let it sit for 1 or 2 weeks, and then strain out the lemon.
Después de que usas los limones, los puedes poner en vinagre blanco y los dejas ahí por 1 o 2 semanas.
Once you have that, then you can use it on most surfaces to clean them and kill bacteria.
Después de las 2 semanas, puedes usar ese líquido que sobra para limpiar la mayoría de las superficies.
Does anyone clean with vinegar at home, or their parents clean with vinegar at home?
¿Alguno de ustedes limpia con vinagre en sus casas?
Edwin says yes. If you don't like the smell of vinegar, the citrus makes it smell nicer. So that's just a way to make it a little bit better for you. Okay.
No, it's not too much smell.
Oh, you don't like the smells okay?
Yeah, it's okay. But I mix it with water, no?
Perfect. Perfect. Just another idea. You don't have to do any of these things, but just things to try if you ever want to. All right. So those are all my videos for the day. I want to share two last things with you before we close out our time together. One is what happens to all the waste that we don't sort if we decide not to compost, not to recycle, and not to put things where they need to go.
Esos fueron todos los videos y ahora les quiero comentar sobre dos cosas antes de terminar con nuestro tiempo. Y quería comentarles sobre qué pasa con la basura si no la pones en los lugares donde deberían ir.
After that, I'll show you a little bit about what I do with my work and how I help businesses sort their waste, just in case you're curious about what I do.
Y también les voy a comentar un poco más sobre mi trabajo y cómo ayudo a las compañías sobre cómo clasificar sus residuos.
And then the last few minutes of our time together, I want to hear one thing that you learned from the last 4 workshops that you would want to share with something that you think is really cool.
Y al final quiero que todos me digan una cosa que aprendieron en los 4 workshops que tuvimos, que puedan comentarles a su familia o a alguna otra persona.
Okay, so here's what happens when we don't sort our trash.
Ok, entonces eso es lo que pasa si no clasificamos bien nuestra basura.
It will most likely go into a landfill, either where we live or in some other country.
Va a ir a este lugar donde llevan toda la basura, puede ser aquí en donde tú vives o en otra ciudad o país.
Very basically, landfills are just a big, giant hole in the ground, and once the trash goes in, it usually never comes out.
Entonces, estos lugares básicamente hacen un hueco muy grande en la tierra y ahí es donde tiran toda la basura y de ahí nunca más vuelve a salir.
And all around the world, we're filling up landfills so that there cannot take much more material.
Y en varias partes del mundo ya estos lugares se están llenando y ya no pueden llevar más basura.
So part of what we're doing when we sort our trash well and we compost is making sure these holes, these landfills, don't fill up too quickly.
Entonces, parte de nuestro trabajo es hacer que estos lugares no se llenen tan rápido.
Another place that trash can go is somewhere called an incinerator.
Otro lugar donde puede ir nuestra basura es en estas fábricas.
This is a place where you burn trash just to get rid of it.
Estas fábricas es donde llevan la basura y la queman. Y
This might seem like a good idea because it gets rid of it, it just helps it disappear, but it also gives off these very smelly and unhealthy fumes.
esta puede pues, pasar como una mejor idea, pero cuando la queman salen estos humos que tienen olor feo y gases.
Especially when it's not managed well, it can make people very sick.
Especialmente cuando no están manejados de buena manera, pueden enfermar a las personas.
So we try to keep all of our waste, when possible, out of landfills and out of incinerators.
Entonces tratamos de no llevar a la basura a este lugar.
I see Jonathan has a question. I can answer that now before I do the third idea.
Jonathan, ¿cuál es tu pregunta? How is plastic created?
That's a great question. It's a long answer, but I will make it simple. Basically, plastic comes from oil. That's the short answer.
Es un proceso muy largo, pero para hacerlo más corto, el plástico viene del gas.
So the same people who drill for oil for our cars or for heating can refine it and turn it into plastic.
Entonces, la misma personas que trabajan en los desiertos buscando el petróleo o el gas, eh, pueden volver a reusarlo y crear el plástico.
There are many problems with plastic because one, you are using fossil fuels that release carbon into the atmosphere.
Hay muchos problemas con crear el plástico porque al crearlo emite muchos gases a, a la atmósfera.
And also, another big problem are microplastics when they break down into very small pieces.
Y también cuando se descomponen quedan los microplásticos.
But to answer your original question, plastic comes from oil, which comes from the ground.
Pero para regresar a tu pregunta, plástico viene del petróleo y el petróleo viene de la tierra.
Did I answer your question, Jonathan?
Jonathan, ¿eso responde a tu pregunta?
See, good. Okay, great. You're welcome. Let me give one more place that trash goes. So I said landfill, incinerator, and now this third one. Pollution.
Ya les comenté los otros lugares donde va la basura y esta es la tercera y básicamente la tercera es la contaminación.
So sometimes when we throw things away, they might not always end up where we want them to go.
La mayoría de las veces cuando botamos nuestra basura, nunca llegan a los lugares donde queremos que lleguen.
It's not always our fault that trash ends up in the environment, which is why we want to focus on preventing waste in the first place.
No es la culpa de nosotros, pero esta es una de las razones por que queremos reducir y reusar.
This is a picture from a beach where you can see a water bottle and a little bit of styrofoam that ended up on the shore.
Esta es una foto en una playa donde puedes ver eh, una botella de plástico, cartones.
And this is different to go to Jonathan's question than, say, organic waste, because this won't break down into the environment very well.
Y regresando a la pregunta de Jonathan, esto es plástico, entonces no se descompone, se tarda en descomponerse y cuando se descompone no ayuda a la tierra.
This will just break down into smaller and smaller pieces of plastic that are harder and harder to pick up.
Lo único que pasa con esto es que se va a descomponer en tamaños más pequeños y al final es muy difícil tratar de buscarlos.
This is the stressful part about trash and sorting trash, but you already have all of the tools to make sure that things go to the best place possible.
Esto es la parte más difícil, pero lo que queremos es que la gente categorice bien su basura.
Any more questions before I show you some of my work and then have time for takeaways?
¿Alguna otra pregunta antes de saltar al otro tema sobre mi trabajo?
Okay. Anything, just put it in the chat. I'll just share this last slide. I never really shared with you what I do for work and how I know all these things.
Nunca tuve el tiempo de mencionarles sobre mi trabajo y de cómo sé todo esto sobre este tema.
So when I'm not teaching you workshops, I work a lot with small businesses to help them find creative ways to reduce waste.
Entonces, cuando no estoy trabajando haciendo workshops como esto, estoy trabajando con compañías pequeñas y enseñándoles cosas creativas de cómo ellos pueden reducir su basura.
So this picture on the far left is me doing something called a waste audit for a local business.
En la foto de la izquierda estoy yo con una compañía y estoy haciendo una auditoría de cómo pueden reducir su basura.
So when I do that, I wear this fun outfit to make sure my clothes stay clean, and I dig through their trash.
Entonces, cuando yo hago este tipo de trabajo, me pongo ese tipo de ropa para mantenerme más limpia porque yo busco sobre su basura.
And then I take pictures of it like these other pictures on this slide.
Y tomo fotos de su basura, como pueden ver en las otras fotos.
And I help them understand if they can recycle, compost, trash, or prevent the waste.
Y les enseño de cómo pueden reciclar, hacer el compost, botar la basura o prevenir todo eso.
So, for example, they had a bag full of paper towels that were going into the trash. But we know that paper towels can go where?
Por ejemplo, tenían papel toalla en su basura y les estaba comentando que no iba en la basura. ¿Ustedes saben dónde va el papel toalla?
I'll give a hint. If the paper towels have food on them, where do they go?
Eh, si el papel toalla tiene comida, ¿dónde podría ir?
Natalie says compost. Correct. Yes, so they were going in the trash, but we talked about it and they realized they could go in the compost.
Entonces, lo tenían en la basura, pero después de comentarles, ya ahora ya saben que cualquier tipo de papel con comida va en el compost.
So after doing this at multiple businesses, it's more of individuals like you and me fixing this, but also businesses can fix and sort their waste properly.
Entonces, después hago lo mismo con otras compañías, pero al final el trabajo es de nosotros juntos y también de las compañías para prevenir la basura orgánica.
Okay, that's it. Last question. I would love to know if you have any final questions. And the prompt that I gave you is what would you tell someone who wasn't at these workshops what you learned? Just one thing you would tell them.
Eh, el último tiempo que tenemos es para preguntas, pero también quiero que todos ustedes me digan, aunque sea una cosa que les gustó de todos los workshops, o algún tema que les pareció interesante, que le pueden comentar a un familiar, a un amigo o a cualquier persona.
Since we have time, I would love to hear from everyone.
Y como que tenemos tiempo, quiero que todos me digan una cosa.
Sebastian, do you want to share anything while people think or add to the chat? One thing you learned.
Yeah, one thing I thought interesting was the indoor composting
Okay.
from the worms and the bokashi.
Do you
I
think
didn't really know about that, so.
do you think you'll try one of those?
Probably not the worm one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. But yeah, it's cool to learn about.
yeah.
Cool. I see Esmeralda added an idea to the chat that fruit that has a sticker does not belong in the compost. Yes, that's a great thing to share. As long as the sticker is off, it's good. But yes, no stickers. Perfect. Natalie is saying, I learned that you can dye clothes with avocados. Yeah, and they'll be a really cute shade of pink. So there's that. Edwin Tomatoes, yes, they go on the counter and not in the fridge. So you're doing that from now on, it sounds like, which is great. And Jonathan, that we can pintura. What does pintura mean?
Pintura means paint.
Oh, we can paint with fruit. Yes, so dyeing with fruit. Yes, thank you. Yeah, and then tomatoes in the fridge. That seemed like it was very common. Awesome. Did we hear from everyone? I think we did. Oh, Brian. Brian, anything you want to add? I think everyone else said something. And then we'll be done. So,
Ya escuchamos comentarios de todos, pero nomás falta Brian. Sí, por favor, pues, he's still thinking.
okay, no worries. Yeah, keep thinking. Just want you to take away something that you can share with folks beyond the posters that you've made, which Geraldi shared what you created, and it looks really good. So you should definitely be very proud of yourselves. All right. If there's no other questions and no other things, we are done.
Ok, si ya no tiene más preguntas ni nada más que decir, pues eso es todo.
Thank you so much, Moji, for your professional trainings
You're
provide to
welcome.
our youth. We are posting these trainings in our social media in the Amigo de Cero Radio.
Great.
For the goal is more people from our community learning about the organic ways.
Beautiful. I'll make sure I share all 4 slides with you so you have them for reference if you need them. And if you ever have a question, just feel free to email me and I'll try and send you a resource or an answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Thank you for your attention, and I'm glad to have met you all.
Hola a todos, tuve fallas técnicas al comienzo. Mi nombre es Geraldi, soy coordinadora de proyectos con DVSA. Gracias por sintonizarse a este programa. Pueden seguirnos en nuestra página web de Facebook como Duwamish Valley Sustainability Association. También estamos en Instagram como DVSA-Washington, WA. Hasta la próxima. Gracias.